Welcome to my world, bitch.
Welcome to the 180th episode of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies podcast.
So telepathically paranormal.
That's me sending telepathic signs.
Oh no, I got it.
To you. My name is Jason Knight, host of the show, and with me, as always, is...
Oh, Oscar Spector.
Producer extraordinaire and podcast co-host. Oscar, what has been going on with you over the last month?
I wish it was something relating to our topic, because that would be so cool. But no, nothing that cool happens to me. I will say that I am gearing up for something huge. I know you're about to talk about something you're gearing up for as well, but I'm gearing up for the fullest season of the Ren Fair that I've ever done in my life.
So what do you mean by a full season of Ren Fair?
So my friend and I, over the recent years, like last 2 to 3 years, I started going to the Ren Fair. It was only like once.
Is that available? Is it just for the listeners, right?
Yes,
if they're like, well, what is a Ren Fair?
Renaissance Fair. Sorry.
Is that available in every state? Is that
I think most states, but I don't know. Okay. All I know is that it's available here.
For the longest time, I thought it was a Midwest thing. Like I did.
You're right. It might be. I have no idea. I don't know if New York does it. I don't know if California does. I don't know if Texas. Exactly. Do they all do those? I have no idea. But I know we do it here. So, and the Ren Fair lasts about 2 to 3 months. It's like from July till September.
It's got to be something like just before fall or something.
I think so. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And they only do it on the weekends. They don't do it throughout the week. Over the years I've been going. Like 2 years ago, I went like 4 times or something, which is my record. This year, my friend and I each bought 2 different season passes.
They sell season passes to that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. We bought season passes for admission, and we bought a separate season pass we've never done this before, for like the VIP area of the Ren Fair, because they have those.
What?
Yeah.
Is that where you get to like shovel the horse shit in the arenas?
Quite the opposite. It would probably not smell like anything. So they have cleaner bathrooms. They have discounted on some things. They have shade because it's very hot.
It is hot.
They have shade. They have unique events or access to events on certain weekends. There's other things like that. But yeah, that's what we bought. We went all out this year, and we got all those season passes. We're going to start. It starts like July 10th, I think. And we're going to go, to make it worth our while, we have to go 11 times.
11 times.
So we have to go every weekend.
Are you guys dress-up people?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shut your face.
That's actually the hardest thing I have to figure out right now is the outfits.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. What are you going to dress?
I already have the pirates, the warlock witches stuff. I already have a lot of those from the past years down to go. I can also mix and match different things for different occasions. I have the punk, I have the goth look, a little bit here.
Wow.
But I want to increase those. I want to have something specific too. I just don't know what.
I think that's a lot of fun. I've been to Ren Fair maybe twice.
Yeah. How long ago do you think that was?
My daughter, Nico, maybe 6 years ago or so, maybe.
I like how you're jerking in the air.
Yeah, like trying to think. That's how I think. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like 5 or 6 years ago.
All right.
Where they could still really enjoy it. Like Talia dressed up as this beautiful maiden.
Okay.
Nico was a dragon with the mask and the tail.
Yeah, my friend brings her kid. She's a toddler, basically, or just over a toddler. She's like in, I think, first grade or pre-K. I don't remember. And she likes to dress as a fairy. So, perfect. Really.
So they were at that age where they can still enjoy it. They wanted to do it. Now it's like, what are you, fucking crazy?
No, it's still a lot of fun.
I'm not going to do that.
They have pub crawls. It's great.
But for me, it's 1, hot as shit.
Yeah, it is hot.
2, so people-y.
It is people-y.
So people-y.
Yes.
So I never went back. For you, I think that's great. Shit like that don't bother you like it does me. I always thought Ren Fair needs to run during the wintertime. Could you imagine that? So I'm thinking of a very specific place.
I think you could have a lot of great themes in the winter. Yes.
Massive property.
I agree.
Beautiful property, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine what that place would look like, lit up by torches with the snow. And
you could have a Wizarding World the weekend. You know, they have pirate weekends there, for example, so you could do this.
Yeah.
You could do a lot of options.
That I
agree.
to.
I agree with you.
Yeah. I don't know why they don't do that.
You could have a Cogsmeade thing. It'd be so cool.
Oh, dude.
I only think of Harry Potter right
Harry
now.
Potter, yeah.
But there are many other options. You could have you could reenact things from The Thing.
For the things from the thing.
Yeah, the things from The Thing. The Carpenter film. So, I would invite you, but I also know how much you hate crowds. But you should come at least one of those days. It'd be nice.
I think you're right. Maybe we should make it a point.
I reserved every Sunday, so we're gonna hit every Sunday, and then like 1 or 2 Saturdays as well. So we're gonna hit at least one of the weekends from it's open till it's closed.
That's fun. So, that is fun. I like the VIP parking thing too, so you don't have to walk too far.
Yeah, that's also good.
That's what you think of when you get my age. How far do I have to walk?
No, we don't like it either. We don't like it, especially if you have your certain shoes that are like novelty shoes. You don't want to be like,
oh yeah,
you don't want to feel tired and shit. But I mean, you're walking the whole day anyway, so you should plan that out. But yeah, whatever. And a lot of reasons why it's close. It's good to park closely.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. Yeah. And they live on property too. The people who like work there and run it.
That I don't know. I know some of them do. I don't know about all of them.
Yeah, because you see the trailers lined up for ever.
You do see them, yes. Field, yeah. They have their own little little driveway that's kind of hidden.
I really hope these exist elsewhere in the country, because right now listeners are like, fuck, I don't care.
I wonder about that. I wonder if...
Yeah, let us know.
How common it is.
Yeah. Write the show. Let us know. Contact at chicagoghostpodcast.com. I haven't said that in ages.
What's that? What, our website?
Chicago Ghost Podcast is our website.
Right.
Contact at Chicago Ghost Podcast is our...
Oh, the email.
Do you remember our phone number?
We don't have a phone.
We do.
Actually, we don't. So, I don't know if you know this is a spam season.
Bring back some old shit.
This is some, the spam season right now. I've been getting a lot of calls about like financial loans and shit.
Every day.
Like apparently I did a financial loan and they just want to confirm that with me. They just want to confirm, Jay. And I feel like that phone number that we have, it just adds to that. Apparently, if you call that number, you will get 10 times more spam calls from companies.
Call our number?
Yes.
Because,
I mean, if you want to make people's lives worse, then
Chicago area code.
It's not Chicago.
872-529-0767.
Ask me how many people I know as a Chicago resident of 42 years that I've met has that fucking area code.
That's like literally, well, I don't know, you cut me off. So it's 872-529-0767. That's like Gold Coast area code.
Don't use it. No, that's not a real thing. Gold Coast is not a real thing. They don't have their own area code. I mean, I can see them doing it because they're rich bitches, but like, yeah, no, that's not a thing.
Do you remember when Chicago didn't have any area codes? I actually remember that.
Well, you're from the 1800s, so that makes sense.
Well, I
mean, you went to college with Alexander Graham Bell, right?
Fuck. Anyway, so that's what you're gearing up for. By the time...
At 2?
Pretty much, well, yeah. Shortly after this episode release, on the 1st of July, we're headed to Florida, and we're jumping on a cruise.
Nice.
And then we're heading back to Florida for 5 days.
Oh, that's right. You're taking this girl because she told me at your party.
My daughter?
No, the one of the friends.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Well, I'm not taking her. Fuck.
No, she's flying there. But my point is, she's going with you. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Son, yeah.
Yes,
and
right.
her son is coming with.
That's right. I always forget her name.
Nico's buddy. I'm not going to say the name.
I mean, it's just the first name, but it's okay.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I don't see how that's a problem, but I understand. I don't have to say. I also don't remember. So
yeah, we're really, really excited. Like,
cool.
We're gone from the 9th to the 25th.
You know how people get airline miles by the most flown? You get benefits and stuff. Do you get cruise miles? Is that a thing?
Points, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm trying we're doing a completely different line this time.
Oh, right. So it has to be with the same company then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like with Carnival, right?
But so you do have do you have racked up points that you haven't used yet?
On Carnival, I do.
That's cool.
This line is Norwegian Cruise Line, NCL. So it's the first time we're doing it.
Norway's doing okay.
The dates fell within the time we could go. That was the cruise line that fit those dates. So we're heading out. It's going to be great. We're going to the Dominican Republic. We're going to Tortola, Bahamas, and St. Thomas.
Isn't Tortola where Jack Sparrow went to visit some horse?
It very well could be.
That was Tortuga. Never mind.
Oh, there you go. I was going to say, I think Tortola has pirate history, but maybe you're right. Maybe it is Tortola.
It's probably like a play on words with the names in the movie.
What's really crazy is, way back in the day, my wife and I, we took a cruise, right? And Tortola was one of those stops, long before the kids and everything.
Yeah.
And she almost died in Tortola. She almost drowned in Tortola.
Oh, shit.
And it's this whole story. I'll tell it one day. But now here we are going back to Tortola, to that very same beach, because it's beautiful. And we're taking our kids this time. It's just how things just come full circle.
Just keep her out of the water. Just keep her out of the water.
We're going to be
because she's older now, so less likely to swim well.
Yeah. Who, my wife?
I'm less likely than like last
not
time.
90.
No, you're not?
Shut up. No, it's the way... it's a place called the Baths, and there's these massive, massive boulders and shit that you could climb, and they're in the water.
Okay.
So it creates kind of this cove. But when the waves come in, not only are they coming in at you, they're also coming in from the sides of you because they're ricocheting, they're bouncing off these rocks and coming at you at every different angle. So she went out, she got a little too far, the water got really rough, and like an undertow grabbed her and started pulling her straight out to the open sea, right? Yeah. And she reached out to me, I grabbed her hand, and I was trying to pull her back in, and it was just too strong, it pulled her right out of my grip.
Wow.
Right? And there she goes, like I'm watching her, I'm like, what do I do? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, dude, this Polish guy he just comes up from the ocean, like picture John Candy, right?
Sure.
Just this real heavy guy, Polish accent, heavy Polish accent.
So it'll be like Johan Kandinsky.
Sure, yes. And he's got this face mask on, right? And it's tight against his face because he's a big dude, like a heavy guy. Yeah. And he just reaches out, man, like so casually, almost as if he shouldn't have been able to reach her, but he did, right? And he grabbed her hand. Yeah. And then he grabbed my hand.
And he connected you guys?
We formed this chain, and we walked her to shore.
That's
where
crazy.
She could, stand and breathe and be okay. And then he was gone. He like a mermaid, like a Polish mermaid. Yeah. Then he just went, and he was gone. Like, where did this guy... he saved her life, Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's where we're going again. We're going back to the Baths. I'm telling you, man, guardian angel, mermaid, don't know.
Keep on the lookout for him. It might be a vacation spot that he goes often. You might see him again.
Could you imagine? Like, it's got to be 20 years ago, maybe,
Just say Jinkuye when you meet him.
Jinkuye. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. Came out of nowhere and then just disappeared.
That's crazy.
The weird shit that happens in your life,
Sure, yeah. I mean, especially as you go to weird places. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
So we're looking forward to that. We had a big party here last weekend. You came.
That's true. It
was my daughter's 18th party / graduation party.
Yep. She did everything in her power to avoid all the adults.
Of course. That's what they do at 18. But everything worked great. We worked for like 2 months putting that thing together, and everything was beautiful. So that's the latest and greatest.
Cool 10. I got myself cut on your party.
Fuck. Oh my God. All right.
Remember that?
We got to get on with this, but I've never seen anything like that.
That was crazy, right?
So Oscar.
Either I have like crazy, because it didn't feel any worse than opening a regular bottle, so do I have crazy strength, or was that bottle just particularly weak?
I've never seen it before. So Oscar grabbed a beer bottle.
Yeah.
You took my metal bottle opener.
Yes.
You went to pop the top.
Yeah.
And not only did the top come off, right?
But the top of the actual
of the bottle came off as well.
Right, broke off. And in that breaking, in that motion, it cut my finger.
Gnarly, too. Like,
yeah,
bleeding
it's still healing. It's still healing. Yeah.
I'd never seen that before.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like the top was still connected to the metal, to the glass piece that it was supposed to come out of after it broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was wedged in.
You were going to drink that bottle. I took that bottle away from you and threw it away. Do you remember?
Yeah, because there could be shards inside the thing. You're right.
My mom, she had a beer one time, and she swallowed glass. That happened. Not as egregious.
Yeah.
So it was just a couple shards off the top. But yeah, tore up her whole throat. I mean, she was spitting up blood and coughing up blood. It was terrible. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm like, no, you're not drinking that.
Hey.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Crazy.
Fun party.
So we have a good one. Well, actually, Oscar, to segue into what we're here to do, this is the first of 4. I have a triple plus 1.
Triple plus? Just say quadrology.
I don't know how you would say that.
Quadrology?
Fuck out of here, quadrology.
That's
Stop.
That's a word.
Not a word.
Look it up right now.
Quadrology.
Oh my God, look it up right now. How dare you not believe me?
I'm not going to look it up right now.
Have I ever lied to you, Jay?
We're going to start the show. So these next 4 episodes are in honor of the recent UFO document dumps at war.gov/UFO. Everything we're going to talk about, listeners could go and see the actual government files right now. Thousands and thousands of pages of documents that have been released at war.gov/UFO. Super simple. There's some crazy stuff, right? So not only that, but we also had the release of Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, right?
That's true.
So all these things are kind of culminating at once. There's so much great information out there now. Disclosure is definitely in process. So what I did is I literally sat, and I think I mentioned this on the last show, I downloaded every single file, photo, and video that has been released so far on this government website. Not only that, but I also went to the FBI archive as well and downloaded everything that they have as far as declassified UFO information. And I was able to put together these 4 episodes. So that's what this is about.
Okay.
These next 4 shows. So if you're not into the UFO thing, listeners...
Yeah, skip it for 4 months.
We'll see you in
October. In autumn, right? The fall.
But that's what this is. I think it's pretty damn interesting. I think this shit is real. No doubt. So that's what it's about.
Okay.
Want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break. I was just about to ask you that.
Let's take a break. Let's break. Let's do it. Listeners, welcome back to the show. Well, the lights are turned down low, the ceremonial candle is lit, and the drinks are flowing. Let's start this show. All right, Oscar. So tonight, we're no longer doing a UFO episode as originally planned. Instead, we're beginning a UFO investigation. A few months ago, I thought I had a 2-part series, episode 180 and 181. They were nearly finished. I built a story around the origins of the UFO question, of Roswell, Project Sign, Project Grudge, Blue Book, MJ-12 or Majestic 12, crash retrieval allegations, and the strange way these mysteries seem to survive every attempt to explain them away. Then the government released some files. Not one file, not one memo, not one grainy photograph, but a brand new batch of records, documents, videos, NASA material, astronaut debriefings, FBI case files, modern UAP reports, photographs, eyewitness interviews, analytical summaries, and historical records. And suddenly, the story changed. Not because the new files prove aliens are here. They don't. Not because they prove Roswell was a crashed spacecraft. They don't. And not because they prove MJ-12 was real. They don't. What they reveal is something far more interesting. The investigation that never really stopped. That is a story now. Not one sighting, not one crash, not one witness, not one photo or video, and not one agency. The story is the continuity. The same question moving through the FBI, the Air Force, the CIA, NASA, Congress, the White House, foreign governments, military investigators, astronauts, intelligence analysts, and modern UAP investigators. Across nearly 80 years, that's the story now. And that's why our series had to change. Episodes 180 and 181 are no longer enough. Over the next 4 episodes, we're going to follow a question through the modern history of the United States. Not whether UFOs exist, not whether extraterrestrials are visiting Earth, a much simpler question. For generations, pilots, military personnel, scientists, cops, astronauts, and ordinary citizens like you and I have reported things in the sky they couldn't explain. Again and again, investigators were asked to answer the same question. What are people seeing, and does it represent something governments need to understand? What began as a handful of reports would grow into one of the longest-running investigations in modern history. The people involved would change. The agencies would change. The technology would change. But the question would remain. The deeper I dug into the records, the stranger the story became. Because while many individual cases came and went, the investigation itself survived. The reports continued. The reviews continued. The files continued. And eventually, the investigation became a mystery all in its own. And so did the question, what are people seeing, and does it represent something governments need to understand? Now, before we begin, I want to speak directly to our longtime listeners. Some of you are going to hear familiar names. Kenneth Arnold, Roswell, Project Sign, Project Grudge, Blue Book, and J. Allen Hynek, just to name a few. If you've listened to our earlier extraterrestrial extravaganza episodes 115, 116, and 117, you might be thinking, wait a minute, didn't we already cover some of this? And yes, we did. But we covered those stories as separate events. Roswell was one story, Project Sign another, Blue Book another. And at the time, I was asking the same questions most people ask. Did this happen? Was Roswell real? Were the witnesses telling the truth? Did the government know more than it admitted? Right. And those are still important questions, but years after additional research since those episodes, and now especially after this latest release of records, I don't think they're the biggest question anymore. Because while investigators spent nearly 80 years asking, what are people seeing? I found myself asking different questions, bigger questions. Why did the investigation survive? Why did it survive Kenneth Arnold? Why did it survive Roswell and Project Sign and Grudge and Blue Book? Why did it survive the Robertson Panel? Why did it follow astronauts into orbit? And why did it enter congressional correspondence? Why are there still modern videos, modern witness reports, modern government reviews, and modern records? Why are agencies still generating reports, conducting reviews, and releasing new files nearly 80 years later? Those are the questions that drive this series of podcast releases. And that brings us to PURSUE. Now, PURSUE stands for the Presidential Unsealing and Reporting System for UAP Encounters.
Yes. It seems like I love and hate this acronym because it seems like they have to do a long walk to justify PURSUE. Yeah. They had to really get there. It wasn't natural. Yeah. No one in a meeting just naturally came up with this.
No, someone sat down and really put thought.
Yeah, they put a few hours into it. They workshopped it.
Yeah, they workshopped it. Yeah. Presidential Unsealing and Reporting System for UAP Encounters, PURSUE. Now, according to the program's public materials, PURSUE was established during this Trump administration as part of a broader effort to identify, review, organize, and publicly release historical government records related to unidentified aerial phenomenon, unexplained aerospace incidents, and legacy UFO investigations. Now, this PURSUE archive, as I mentioned in the intro, that's located at war.gov/UFO. Super simple. You can look it up on your phone. war.gov/UFO. That's where all the information over these next 4 episodes come from. Actual government files, declassified files. Now, inside PURSUE are, this is a lot, so bear with me. There's FBI files, okay? Air Force records, CIA material, NASA documents, congressional correspondences, scientific reports, intelligence summaries, photos, videos, eyewitness accounts, and historical UFO cases spanning nearly 80 years. Now, as I worked through these records, along with the documents from the FBI vault. I got some information from there too, as well as the National Archives and the Department of Energy releases. Something became clear. This isn't a collection of isolated stories. It's more of a chain of reports, a chain of investigations, a chain of uncertainty. And the longer I followed that chain, the less comfortable I became with the idea that this mystery was never truly closed. So tonight, we're going to start at the beginning. Not with aliens, not with crashed saucers, not with secret underground bases. We begin with a pilot, a report, and a country on edge, and a question that entered the machinery of government and never fully came back out. This is episode 180, the UFO question that refuses to die.
I like that. It sounds like a Rod Serling opening almost.
Thanks, man.
Has that feel to it.
Nice.
And this is the Twilight Zone.
Now, for most people, the modern UFO story began in July 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico. But historically speaking, Roswell wasn't the first domino. The first domino fell nearly 2 weeks earlier, June 24th, 1947, a clear summer day over the Pacific Northwest. A businessman named Kenneth Arnold climbed into his aircraft and took off. Now, listeners, if you've spent any time researching UFO history, you've heard Kenneth Arnold's name before. In many ways, he's become this symbol, a historical marker, if you will, a footnote people race past on their way to Roswell.
That's true. It pops up in a lot of rabbit holes when you think of UFO/UAP stuff.
Yeah.
Common name.
Yeah.
In those circles.
And the way a lot of people do kind of just rush to Roswell, it's sort of unfortunate, because as the evidence accumulated, the more convinced I became that Kenneth Arnold may be one of the most misunderstood figures in this entire story.
Okay.
Arnold wasn't searching for aliens. He wasn't writing books. He wasn't appearing on television or trying to launch some movement, right?
Yeah.
That morning, he was helping search for a missing military transport aircraft. That's it. A pilot helping look for another pilot. Nothing more, nothing less. And as he flew near Mount Rainier, visibility was excellent. The mountains stretched across the horizon. The skies were clear. Conditions were pretty much perfect. And then something happened. Arnold later reported observing a series of unusual objects moving across the sky. Not one, several. He estimated their speed as extraordinary, their movement as unusual, the behavior as unlike anything he'd ever seen. Now, 80 years later, people still argue about what Arnold saw. Maybe he misidentified something. Maybe he estimated the speed incorrectly. Maybe it wasn't that phenomenal at all.
Maybe it was just ducks flying south to the winter.
Yeah.
For the winter.
Or maybe it was some natural phenomenon that he saw. Or maybe he observed a conventional aircraft under some unusual circumstance.
Right.
Those debates continue to this day. But for our purpose, the most important question isn't what Arnold saw. The most important question is what happened next. Because history often turns on reactions rather than events. And the reaction to Arnold's report was immediate. Newspapers picked up the story. Other witnesses came forward. Pilots began reporting unusual observations. Military personnel and police officers reported unusual observations, as did ordinary citizens. Suddenly, reports of unusual objects in the sky seemed to be appearing everywhere. Now, listeners, let's pause for a moment. Imagine you're living in 1947. World War II ended only 2 years earlier.
Right.
The atomic bomb has transformed warfare. The Cold War is beginning. Military planners are increasingly worried about technological surprises. The Soviet Union is emerging as a strategic rival.
Yep.
Radar systems are becoming critical. Air superiority and national security matters. In that environment, unidentified objects in the sky aren't merely interesting, they're important. That's a distinction many modern retellings miss. The government didn't initially care about flying saucers because officials believed extraterrestrials were visiting Earth. No, they cared because anything unidentified in American airspace represented uncertainty, especially at that time in our history. And uncertainty makes governments nervous, especially governments preparing for the Cold War.
Right, yeah, and also preparing for the space program, which hasn't begun yet.
Right, yeah.
I think of flying objects there.
Yeah. So, if reports of unusual objects suddenly began appearing across the country in 1947, what would military planners be most worried about? And that's one of the most important things listeners need to understand. The earliest investigations weren't driven by curiosity, they were driven by concern, worry. Concern that somebody, somewhere, might possess technology that represented a threat to the United States. That's what transformed Kenneth Arnold's strange report into an official matter. And once something becomes an official matter, paperwork begins, files begin, investigation begins, and the bureaucracy wakes up. As reports increased, information began moving through military channels. Field offices began collecting statements. Reports were cataloged. Questions were asked. And before long, the phenomenon attracted the attention of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Now, let's be clear. The FBI wasn't investigating because agents suddenly became interested in science fiction. The FBI became involved because unusual reports were entering official channels. The reports existed. The witnesses existed. That concern existed. And once concern enters a government system, documentation follows. And that pattern is going to repeat throughout this series, throughout the history of UFO investigation, over and over again. Different decades, different agencies, different investigators. The same cycle. A report appears, questions are asked, files are opened, explanations are proposed, some answers emerge, and something remains. The process begins all over again. When I started researching this series, I thought I was looking at UFO history. What I eventually realized was that I was looking at a history of an investigation, a very long investigation, one that never seems to reach a final conclusion, one that keeps passing from institution to institution.
It almost feels like they get so far away from it that they become, it's like the statute of limitation. What's that called? When you've done a crime, but if you wait long enough, that crime doesn't matter anymore. What's that called?
Well, the statute of limitations has been
That is what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh, that is called. Okay, I wasn't sure that was the name or not.
No,
it feels like that sometimes with these old stories, right? Like, oh, well, it's past the statute of limitations. Like, what's the point?
What's right?
Right.
Not here.
Right. No, not here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's this investigation that just keeps on surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of 1947, the military had already reached an important conclusion. Witness reports alone wouldn't be enough. If answers were going to be found, scientists would need to become involved. Analysts would need to become involved. Researchers would need to become involved. The mystery, the UFO mystery, was moving into a new phase. A phase that would bring together military officers, intelligent personnel, engineers, physicists, astronomers, and some of the most respected scientific minds of the era. And in the process, it would generate one of the most remarkable developments in the history of this mystery. The possibility that some investigators began considering an explanation many people assume came from pop culture. It didn't. It emerged from inside the investigation itself. The Air Force called its new effort Project Sign. And that's where our story is going to go next.
Can you spell that? Is it sign S-I-G-N?
It is.
Okay. Yep. Not like cosine, like the math term. S-I-N-E.
S-I-N-E, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No,
making sure.
Sign.
That's why I asked.
No, great. So, by the end of 1947, the reports, UFO, strange activities in the sky, became almost impossible to ignore. Not because investigators believed they had discovered extraterrestrial spacecraft.
Right.
Not because they believed an invasion was underway. Because uncertainty was growing. That's why. And uncertainty is something military organizations are designed to eliminate. Across the United States, reports continued arriving through official channels. Pilots reported unusual objects, as did the military personnel, radar operators, and regular citizens. A lot of the reports could be explained. but some could not. And that distinction changed everything. Because once investigators began separating cases into categories, explained, unexplained, credible, questionable, resolved, unresolved, they had quietly crossed a line. They were no longer dismissing the phenomenon. They were investigating it. Now, listeners, this is one of the biggest misconceptions in UFO history. Many people assume government investigators immediately jumped into extraordinary conclusions.
Okay.
But the historical record suggests the exact opposite. They spent enormous amounts of time trying to avoid extraordinary conclusions. Because ordinary explanations are comfortable. Ordinary explanations preserve existing assumptions.
Yes.
Extraordinary explanations create entirely new problems. So imagine you're an Air Force intelligence officer in 1948. You're living in the opening stages of the Cold War. American intelligence services are increasingly concerned about Soviet technological advances. The Berlin crisis is unfolding. Nuclear weapons have transformed warfare. And military planners are constantly asking the same question. What don't we know? Against that backdrop, unidentified aerial reports represent a serious problem. Not because they prove anything, but because they represent ambiguity. And ambiguity can become vulnerability. The Air Force needed answers, so it created Project Sign. Now today, Project Blue Book receives most of the public attention. Its name appears in books, in documentaries, and TV shows, and movies, right? But Blue Book wasn't the beginning. Project Sign came first. And in many ways, it may have been the most fascinating phase of the entire investigation, because the investigators involved were confronting the mystery for the very first time. No decades of mythology existed yet. No internet arguments existed yet. No established UFO culture existed yet. No accepted narrative existed at that time. There was only a problem and a growing collection of reports. Think about it. If you're trying to solve a mystery, what's the first thing you do? You start eliminating possibilities. And that's precisely what Project Sign attempted to do. The investigators weren't trying to prove ET, or extraterrestrials.
Right.
They were trying to eliminate alternatives, one by one. Could the reports be aircraft? Could they be balloons? Could they be atmospheric phenomena? Could they be astronomical objects? Okay. How about Soviet technology? Or maybe they were psychological in nature. Those questions drove the investigation. Not belief, not ideology, not a predetermined conclusion, but questions. And that distinction is critical because it reveals something forgotten in modern UFO discussions. The extraterrestrial hypothesis, or the UFO mystery, did not emerge because investigators wanted it to emerge. It emerged because some investigators eventually found themselves confronting reports that they struggled to explain away. Now we need to slow down here a little bit, okay? Because this is where decades of misinformation have distorted this overall story.
Okay.
One side often claims early investigators proved extraterrestrial visitation. They didn't. The other side often claims extraterrestrial explanations were never seriously considered. That's not true either. Reality sits somewhere in the uncomfortable middle, and that's where the historical record becomes really interesting. The more reports investigators examined, the more they encountered a frustrating reality. Some cases simply refused to fit neatly into conventional explanations. Not all cases, not even most cases. Some cases. But those cases mattered, because unresolved cases have a way of attracting attention, especially when intelligence priorities are involved. One of the names listeners should remember from this period, from our past episodes.
From the extravaganza?
Extraterrestrial extravaganza episodes, is a man named General Nathan Twining. Now, Twining was not a UFO enthusiast. He wasn't a science fiction writer. He was one of the most respected military officers in the United States, a man whose responsibilities included evaluating technological threats. And in September of 1947, Twining signed one of the most important documents in the history of the UFO mystery, a memorandum that stated something remarkable. Not that extraterrestrials have been proven, not that flying saucers were actually alien spacecraft, but the phenomenon being reported appeared to be, quote, something real and not visionary or fictitious, end quote.
I remember this now.
Do you from our previous?
Yeah, I remember the weight of reason that the guy held from his status in the government and the military, and the fact that he felt like such a straight shooter kind of old guy about it, that he wasn't he wasn't for the pro alien shit.
This is a person that
he just added more weight to his testimony, to what he said.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is a man who, like most high-ranking military people, they want things to fit nicely.
Yeah.
Close up, go away, fit nicely, have an explanation. So here's this highly respected, decorated man saying this stuff is something real, and it's not visionary or fictitious. So think about that, right? One of the most senior officers in the United States Air Force was telling his superiors that witnesses were reporting a phenomenon that deserved serious investigation. And that statement would echo through the decades because it established a precedent. The reports were no longer being treated solely as newspaper stories. They had become an official intelligence problem. And that problem was becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss, to get rid of, to fit into a neat container.
Yeah.
As Project Sign continued its work, investigators found themselves confronting a possibility they would have preferred not to confront at all. The possibility that some reports might represent something beyond current understood technology. And today, we call that the extraterrestrial hypothesis. Okay. But in 1948, it was simply another possibility on a list, a possibility that had not been eliminated, and that distinction is everything. The investigators were not declaring victory, they were admitting uncertainty. And the deeper I dug into this treasure trove of UFO files, the more I realized that uncertainty may be the single most important character in this entire story. It appears everywhere, in witness statements, in intelligence assessments, in scientific reviews, in military memoranda. Over and over we encounter the same thing, questions surviving longer than expected, questions surviving multiple investigations, questions surviving multiple explanations, questions surviving multiple generations. By late 1948, the center of the government's UFO investigation had become Wright Field in Dayton, Ohio. It was there that Project Sign, the Air Force's first official UFO investigation, was attempting to make sense of a growing number of reports from across the country. Pilots, military personnel, and civilians were all describing objects that seemed to defy easy explanation, and investigators at Wright Field were under increasing pressure to determine what, if anything, the government was actually dealing with. And while investigators at Wright Field wrestled with reports from pilots and civilians from across the country, a far more troubling pattern was beginning to emerge in the American Southwest. The reports were coming from New Mexico, from the region surrounding Los Alamos, from White Sands Proving Ground, from the Sandia Base, from some of the most sensitive scientific and military facilities in the United States. And witnesses were not casual observers. They included military officers, engineers, scientists, security personnel, technical staff, whose professions depended on acute and perfect observation. The objects they described would eventually become known as the green fireballs. Now, listeners, if Kenneth Arnold introduced the UFO question, the green fireballs transformed it. Because for the first time, the mystery entered the heart of America's atomic infrastructure. Los Alamos, the birthplace of the atomic bomb. White Sands, home to missile testing and rocket research. And Sandia, one of the nation's most important nuclear weapons facilities. These are not random locations, and that's what got people's attention. The reports began arriving in increasing numbers during 1948 and 49. Witness described brilliant emerald green objects crossing the night sky. Not faint lights or distant stars or brief flashes. These objects were often described as extraordinarily bright, sometimes brighter than ordinary meteors. Many appeared to travel on unusually flat trajectories. Some seemed to move horizontally across the sky rather than descending steeply toward Earth. Several witnesses reported complete silence. No sonic booms, no thunderous shockwaves, no impact, nothing. Others described the objects as larger, slower, and more controlled in appearance than meteors that they had observed before. And perhaps most importantly, many of the witnesses already knew what meteors looked like, yet they repeatedly insisted these objects appeared different. And one of the most famous reports occurred on December 5th, 1948, when scientists and military personnel near Los Alamos observed a brilliant green object streak across the sky. The object was described as intensely bright and impossible to ignore. Then additional reports followed. Then more, again and again. The same color, the same general region, the same unanswered questions.
Do you remember that one time? I don't know if we did a show on it, but I remember it was you who told me about it. We might have. We've done a lot of alien stuff. I don't remember exactly, but we read official reports on the types of aircraft, UAP aircraft that has been spotted, and they had like a government-approved breakdown of all the different types and shapes. And I remember the fireballs.
Was it on there?
I'm pretty sure it was on there. Like the description was on there. I don't think they called it the fireballs in that paper.
They had the rods.
Or maybe as a quote nickname, like one of those things. And I remember reading that description on there.
It might come straight from the green fireball.
It might.
The green fireball incident. Yeah, I remember it had like the rods, the cigar-shaped.
And they talked about, and they went in order from the weirdest shape to the most common or something.
Least reported to most reported.
Right, that's what it was, yes.
The boomerang, the saucer.
The boomerang was something.
Chevron,
Yes.
Now, by early 1949, concern had grown enough that officials began asking whether the objects represented something more than an astronomical phenomenon. Remember the historical context here. The Cold War ramping up. The Soviet Union was rapidly advancing its atomic program. That's a problem. American intelligence agencies were increasingly concerned about espionage and surveillance and technological surprise. Anything unusual repeatedly appearing near atomic research facilities demanded attention, immediate attention. Whether the objects were extraordinary or completely mundane almost became secondary. The reports themselves had become a national security concern. And once national security concerns enter the conversation, everything changes. As investigators gathered more information, one fact became increasingly difficult to ignore. The debate wasn't whether something had been observed. The debate was what had been observed. Witnesses disagreed on details. Scientists disagreed on explanations. Military officials disagreed on significance. But there was growing agreement that the reports deserved serious investigation. That realization brought one of the most important figures in this story to the forefront. Lincoln La Paz. Now today, his name isn't nearly as well known as, say, J. Allen Hynek, or Roswell, or Project Blue Book, but it should be. La Paz was a mathematician, an astronomer, and one of the nation's leading meteor experts. Excuse me. If anyone was qualified to explain these green fireballs as ordinary meteors, it was this La Paz guy, right?
I see now.
Yeah, which is precisely why his involvement is important here. La Paz, interviewed witnesses, compared observations, studied the trajectories, analyzed reports, looked for patterns, and he searched for conventional explanations because that's what scientists do. What he found was not certainty, it was ambiguity. The deeper La Paz investigated, the harder some reports became to comfortably explain as ordinary meteors. What he encountered were reports that resisted simple explanation. And that distinction may be one of the most important lessons here, because uncertainty isn't proof, but uncertainty can be powerful enough to keep that investigation alive, and that's exactly what happened. As concerns grew, investigators reached a familiar conclusion. While reports alone were no longer enough, if answers were going to be found, they needed instruments, measurements, photographs, hard data, something objective, something scientific, something that could be analyzed. Which is how we arrive at one of the most overlooked projects in UFO history. Project Twinkle. Twinkle.
As in Little Star.
Little Star, okay. How I wonder. Now, yeah, and the name almost sounds like funny, whimsical, today, harmless, right? But Project Twinkle represented something significant. It represented a government decision to spend time, money, personnel, and equipment attempting to capture data on this UFO mystery. Think about that. Governments don't establish observation projects for finding things they consider completely unworthy of attention. Projects require resources, budgets, approvals, personnel. Someone had to justify all that.
Right.
Now, Project Twinkle's mission was... It's funny. It is funny.
Yeah, you can't take it seriously.
It's kind of funny, yeah. Project Twinkle's mission was straightforward. Observe the objects, photograph the objects, collect data, determine what they were. Sounds simple. At least on paper.
In theory, right.
In theory. Yeah. Reality, of course, proved more complicated. Observation stations were established. Equipment was deployed. Scientists attempted to collect objective data and evidence. For a brief moment, it seemed possible the mystery might finally yield definitive answers. Instead, investigators encountered something that would become painfully familiar over the next 80 years. Ambiguity.
Right.
Some observations in the sky appeared consistent with natural phenomena, according to Project Twinkle. Others remained difficult to categorize. The data was collected, reports were written, hypotheses were proposed, questions were asked, yet certainty remained elusive. And that, listeners, may be the most remarkable thing about the Green Fireball investigation. Not that it proved something extraordinary, not that it disproved something extraordinary, that despite the involvement of scientists, observation programs, government resources, military personnel, enough unresolved questions remain to keep the file open. Are you starting to notice a pattern yet, listeners? Every time investigators think they're getting closer to an answer, the mystery changes shape. Kenneth Arnold, Project Sign, the Green Fireballs, the same patterns keep appearing. Investigate, analyze, explain what can be explained, and confront whatever remains. Wash, rinse, repeat. But something else happened during the Green Fireball era, something that would quietly echo through the next 80 years of this investigation. For the first time, the mystery became associated with strategic military infrastructure, atomic facilities, weapons research, national security installations. Whether that connection was meaningful, as in there's an intelligence there, or coincidental, remains debated to this day. But the connection entered the record. And once it entered the record, it never completely disappeared. In fact, as we'll discover throughout this story, it appears again and again and again. Different decades, different witnesses, different investigators, but the same uncomfortable pattern. And by the early 1950s, the mystery had grown too large to remain inside isolated investigations. It was no longer merely a problem for Project Sign, or for Lincoln La Paz, or for the scientists at Los Alamos. The mystery was about to move higher, into intelligence circles, into policy discussions, into the highest levels of government. Because the question was no longer, what are people seeing? The question was becoming, what if nobody could fully explain it? And that question would eventually bring the CIA into the story, along with one of the most important meetings in the history of the UFO mystery, the Robertson Panel. Now, by the early 1950s, something unusual had happened, not in the sky, inside the investigation itself. For nearly 5 years, those investigators, the military people, the scientists, the intelligence officers, astronomers, engineers, had attempted to answer what seemed like a simple question. What are people seeing? It sounds straightforward, but by this point, that question had already consumed thousands of hours of investigation. Reports continued arriving from across the country. Witnesses continued reporting. Scientists continued reviewing cases. And despite all that effort, the mystery remains stubbornly resistant to complete explanation. Now, I want you to kind of think of something. Imagine this. Imagine you're an Air Force analyst in 1952.
Okay, I'm a National Air Force analyst for who?
In 1952.
No way I would be allowed in that job.
Now, every morning, strange new reports arrive on your desk. Some are easy, aircraft, weather balloons, astronomical objects, atmospheric effects. Case closed, right? File closed, archive it, move on. But then there are the other reports, the difficult ones. The reports that survive scrutiny, the reports that remain unresolved even after investigators do everything they can to explain them. Not impossible cases, difficult cases.
Okay.
And over time, those difficult cases begin to accumulate. But often enough, not by the hundreds or thousands, but often enough to prevent this investigation from ending. And what happens when an investigation refuses to end? Somebody higher up gets involved, because incomplete explanations have a way of climbing organizational ladders. The longer it survives, the more attention it attracts.
Mm-hmm.
And by the early 1950s, the UFO question had begun attracting far beyond its original investigators. But before we get there, we need to talk about one of the most important people in the entire mystery. That's J. Allen Hynek. If Kenneth Arnold started the UFO conversation, and Lincoln LaPaz represented the scientific investigation of unusual reports, Hynek represents something even more important, the evolution of the investigation itself. Now today, people remember Hynek as one of the most influential figures in UFO research, but that's not how his story began. Hynek entered as the investigation as a skeptic, a respected astronomer brought in to identify conventional explanations. In many ways, he was exactly what the Air Force wanted. A scientist, a realist, someone expected to help explain away unusual reports. And initially, that's exactly what Hynek did. Many reports involved ordinary explanations, planets, stars, meteors, aircraft, stuff like that. Hynek, he understood that. The Air Force understood that. No serious investigator expected every report to represent something extraordinary.
Right.
But over time, something changed. Not dramatically, not overnight, but gradually. The more reports Hynek reviewed, the less comfortable he became with sweeping dismissals.
Right.
You got to pay close attention here. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of Hynek's story. He didn't suddenly become a believer. He did not conclude extraterrestrials were visiting Earth. What changed was something far more subtle. He became increasingly aware of the limitations of easy explanations. It's the difference between, I know what that is, and I'm no longer certain what that is. It may sound like a small shift, but it wasn't. Because that same shift appears time and time again throughout the historical UFO record. Investigators begin with confidence. Then they encounter doubt. Then discover that the doubt is harder to eliminate than they expected. Now, the more I dug into these newly released files, the more I noticed this pattern, not only in Hynek, but everywhere. Different decades, different agencies, different investigators, the same progression. Confidence, investigation, doubt, persistence. And by 1952, persistence had become the real story, because the question was no longer simply, what are people seeing? The question was becoming, why does this problem refuse to disappear? That question eventually reached the attention of another organization, one that had no interest in writing UFO books, no interest in science fiction, no interest in public fascination, the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. Now let's take a breather and let's take a moment and appreciate what that means. The CIA was not created to investigate flying saucers. It was created to assess threats, gather intelligence, evaluate risk, and provide strategic analysis. That alone makes its interest significant. Not because it proves extraterrestrials, not because it proves cover-up, because it proves concern, institutional concern. And concern itself can be historically important. The further I followed the paper trail down the rabbit hole, the more I realized that many modern debates focus on answers. The historical record, the historical UFO record, often focuses on questions. Questions about national security. Questions about intelligence vulnerabilities.
Right.
Questions about public reaction. Or about military readiness. By 1952, unresolved cases had become impossible to ignore. That reality led to one of the most important meetings in the history of UFO mystery, that Robertson Panel. Today, depending on who you ask, the Robertson Panel was either a scientific review, a debunking effort, a cover-up, or the beginning of a coordinated effort to suppress public interest in UFO reports. And the truth is probably more complicated than any of those descriptions, actually. Now, the Robertson Panel convened in January of 1953. Its members included respected scientists and technical experts. And their assignment was straightforward. Review the evidence, assess the situation, determine whether the phenomenon represented a threat. Again, simple on paper, far more complicated in practice. Because by the time the panel met, years of reports already existed. Military observations, pilot reports, radar cases, scientific investigations, photographs. The mystery had accumulated a history, and now a group of scientists were expected to make sense of it. Many people assume the panel's primary objective was determining whether extraterrestrials existed. That's not what really emerges from this historical UFO record. Instead, another concern appears repeatedly: the reporting system itself. And this was one of the most, I think, surprising discovery in the UFO files. The Robertson Panel's greatest concern doesn't appear to have been proving extraterrestrial visitation. It was assessing the potential consequences of mass reporting. Think about that. Thousands of reports moving through military and intelligence channels. Personnel spending time investigating observations. Communication systems processing increased volumes of information. The Robertson Panel worried that during a genuine national emergency, excessive reporting could interfere with the identification of legitimate threats. In other words, by 1953, the mystery had evolved again. It was no longer simply a question about strange objects. It became a systems problem, an intelligence problem, a national security problem. And that realization would shape the next 70 years. Perhaps that's the most surprising part of this story. Not that unusual reports existed. Human history is filled with unusual reports. Not that investigators search for answers. That's what investigators are supposed to do.
Right.
The surprising part is that nobody ever completely solved the UFO problem. Generation after generation inherited the same question. Scientists, military officers, intelligence analysts, field investigators, each believed they might finally understand what they were dealing with. Yet the reports continued. The investigations continued. And the phenomenon survived. Kenneth Arnold, Project Sign, Lincoln La Paz, the Green Fireballs, Project Twinkle, J. Allen Hynek, the CIA, the Robertson Panel. Different people, different institutions, different approaches, yet the same pattern keeps appearing. Investigate, analyze, explain what can be explained, and confront whatever remains. The mystery survives. Not because anyone proved extraterrestrial visitation, not because anyone confirmed extraordinary claims, because no one managed to eliminate every possibility. And once a question survives long enough, something remarkable happens. It acquires a life of its own. The problem is inherited, passed from investigator to investigator, agency to agency, generation to generation. And in the years that followed, the question would evolve into something even more controversial. Stories of crashed aircraft, recovered materials, secret committees, hidden programs, classified investigations, allegations that continue dividing researchers to this day. But those stories belong in the next chapter of our investigation.
Okay.
Because tonight was never about proving extraterrestrials. It was about understanding how the possibility of extraterrestrials and UFOs entered the conversation in the first place. And after following the documents wherever they led, I arrived at the conclusion that surprised me. The extraterrestrial hypothesis, or the UFO problem, the UFO mystery, wasn't born in UFO conventions or on late-night radio. It wasn't born on the internet or on podcasts like the one you're listening to right now. It emerged from inside official investigations. Not because investigators approved it, but because some investigators struggled to completely eliminate it. And I think that's the most important lesson in the entire story. Sometimes mysteries survive not because they have answers, but because every answer seems to create new questions. The year was 1953. The Air Force had investigated. Scientists had investigated. Intelligence officials had investigated. The Robertson Panel had investigated. Yet somehow, the UFO question remained. And in the years that followed, the UFO question would become attached to some of the most famous names in UFO history. Roswell, Project Grudge, Project Blue Book, NASA, Apollo, MJ-12. The investigation wasn't ending. It was expanding. And that's where our story will pick back up in 1 month. Until then, keep questioning, keep searching, and keep looking up.
Always.
Always look up.
I had initially I had 2 questions. Hopefully I remember the second one, but I do have one for you. Isn't the main point of these organizations / government employees, isn't the main point to get them to stop in the end when they start, especially after such incidents that where they're flying over Los Alamos and places that have restricted airspace? Like, isn't the point for them to ultimately, I mean, yes, you have to know what they are,
right.
You have to understand it,
first.
And then get them to stop. Like, there isn't a point to get them to stop, right? That's what they want.
You certainly would think, especially around sensitive areas, yeah,
right.
For sure.
I would assume that's the main point that we're so far from getting to. Probably never
we'll ever, right,
we'll ever get. I don't think ever. I would assume that's the journey that these government, at least in the 50s and so 40s, that's the journey that we're going for, right? Like, that's what they're trying to get to. Whereas, like, you and me, we just want to know.
We just want to know. Yeah.
We want to know. Probably even meet them. That'd be cool. Establish first contact.
Dude. I'm ready.
First contact? You want that?
I'm ready.
You want first contact in your lifetime?
They terrify me, but I'm ready. There's so much fucked up.
I mean, you watch it from your TV screen, right? You won't be there.
I don't like to leave my house.
Right. You don't have to leave your house, but you want first
I'll invite
contact.
them over for a barbecue, for a swim, maybe some whiskey.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
You would.
In my house.
You would.
Yeah, I would.
Ah, okay.
Come on, Gort, let's go.
I'm just saying because that doesn't sound very alien phobia that of you.
You know, I don't like grays. Like, gray aliens scare me.
Oh, so you like
Their faces.
Oh, so you
I
don't.
want to see like the Nords.
Got it. Okay, so you only hate a certain type of
I don't hate.
fictional.
Hate is strong.
Okay.
I terrified.
Okay. You're not just so you're scared of a very specific subset of an alien.
Yeah, dude. Because I think grays are real. Insectoids and shit like that. No, come on. Stop it.
Yeah.
But grays, come on, man. This shit, I mean, so out of all the UFO dumps, the record dumps, and researching this so fucking heavily, it's 100% real. Can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah, I always thought it was real before we even started recording for this podcast because it just makes sense. Like it's just a logical. It's a fun question that it solves itself. Like it's so logically consistent to think that in the ever expanding and still expanding universe, how the hell
Always
is there
expanding.
not other things?
Always expanding.
Right? How is we're not special? I mean, we're special in this galaxy, but we're not special.
Yeah.
Hell, I still think Europa has something,
But 80 years, right?
Yeah.
This has been going on for 80 years.
What is the true purpose, you think, of hiding it?
Well, if one person, just one person, over 80 years is telling the truth, that changes everything. Everything.
Right.
Just one person telling the truth.
Yeah.
Not to mention all these high-level whistleblowers. They're not all lying. They're not all lying.
What is your ultimate wish with this information, this topic?
So, right? Okay, so as of today,
yes,
my wish is, because there's this big chatter online that July 8th is kind of the anniversary, I believe, of Roswell, July 8th. That Trump is supposed to release some massive information about this stuff on July 8th. Complete rumor and conjecture. I'm hoping, it's on my calendar, Trump, on that day. Not really, but that's what they're saying. I want to see that shit. So I want to see what he's got to say.
So what does that mean? What you want then is disclosure day? Is full disclosure? You just want information.
All the above, man.
You want information. You want proof.
Yeah, because like in these dumps that they're doing on war.gov whack UFO, there's a lot of videos, but they're like super grainy. Now some are really cool, where you see you see a disc weaving in and out of the clouds. Man, it's so fucking cool. You see video of these two orange fucking fireballs following each other equidistant through the sky I think it was in the southwest of the United States. I mean, you can't disprove that shit, but it's still like, okay, yeah, I want to see Trump walk out an alien and, and be like, here, look.
Yeah. Can I pose a possible conspiracy theory to you?
Yeah.
That's you're not going to like. Okay, you're not going to like this.
Here we go. Yeah.
Is that I saw this meme once that I still think about, even though I saw it like last year, but I still think about it every once in a while. Like every week, I bring it up in my mind because, like, man, that sucks. But they're not wrong.
What is it?
The meme is, it has like a timeline, right? The time before the invention of the photograph, people believed in all this crazy things.
Yeah.
And then from the time of the invention to the photograph till the time of AI being invented, people believed in the truth in journalism. And like the ratio of people believing in ghosts and the supernatural went way down.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as the invention of the AI was invented, all that belief system came back up again.
I thought it would be the exact opposite, because I don't believe anything I see online anymore.
Well, that's my point. Will people believe this?
No, that's what I think it would take. You would have to...
That's what I'm trying to get to.
All the major news networks would have to...
Do what?
Report of the President of the United States walking a goddamn alien out on... into the Rose Garden. White House.
I wouldn't even believe it.
Does the Rose Garden even exist? Did they destroy the Rose Garden?
He probably destroyed it. He probably put like the wrestling pad there.
I think someone did. Walk right out into the front lawn. Here we go. Here's the UFO. Here's the actual reverse technology that we got off of this UFO over here. This is what we created, reverse technology. That's what it's going to take, man. It's going to take every single major news network. It's going to take every single religious leader at the same time coming out and saying, yes, deal with it. Let's move on and figure out how we live. That's what it's going to take.
That's your ultimate goal.
That's
your dream.
That's got to be what.
That's your wet dream.
That's the only thing it could take.
That's what you fap to.
Because, like I said, even the UFO files are fantastic. They're so full of information. I could probably do 100 episodes.
Yes.
On what's in these files, but the videos, most of them are bullshit. Yeah. Most of them, people are like, it's a balloon.
It is pretty hard to, when you're in a fighter jet. When you're in a fighter jet, it's really hard to take good video, stable fucking video while you're cruising at 80 miles.
I think
or whatever it is.
If we could put people on another planet, we could have better video recording systems on a fucking F-14. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I think it's really hard when you're breaking Mach 1 and shit. It's really hard.
How about the observation airplanes that just cruise?
Right.
And their video.
I think if they do it with that intent in mind, it should be definitely easier. I'm just saying that some of them, not all of them, I think I can justify. I can see why they'd be grainy, but they also seem like bullshit.
But they also weren't designed to capture something that's moving at 3,000 miles an hour.
Well, that's the point. Also, like it doesn't. They don't include that into their
budget. They fucking develop it. You got unlimited black budget.
They do, but they also, they don't want to do it.
I don't know.
And I don't know. And they cite budget reasons to not do it, even though they totally could do it.
And now there's all these stories coming out where, the religious leaders, the Pope and, so forth, are being debriefed.
Yeah.
So when this does happen, how do they approach their flock? How do they
I have another question. What is the ultimate? I'm giving you the ultimate questions.
I know. Jesus.
What is the ultimate reason that you can think of why this information has not been released until now?
Because they think we can't handle it.
In what sense do you think we can't handle it that they think? People are going to go nuts,
riot, mass suicides.
Why?
Because it changes the whole worldview.
But why would it change the whole worldview?
Everything they believed about God or their religion.
But why would it change the whole worldview? Nothing changes the next day.
Sure, if God isn't the creator, but these beings are our creator, dude.
Wait, why is that the assumption? They're just aliens visiting. Why does it have to be assumed? Why would you think that people would think that? I don't think people would think that.
I'm not the one that's fucking making it up. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think that's
I know that. I'm just giving you a counter argument to your thing.
They don't think civilization could handle that sort of reality.
Yeah.
We come from one place. I come from Adam, but I guess if you trace it all the way back in our belief, and that's it.
That just means we're all incest babies.
And we're the only ones.
Yeah.
The Bible doesn't talk about people existing on other. No, that doesn't exist.
So you think it'll? Do you think they think, not you, that you think? I know that it's not you. I'm asking what you think, right? You think that the government thinks that it'll rub on all the people's beliefs.
And just completely shattered.
And do you think it's coming out now because they realize, like, well, maybe we're not as dumb as back then in the 40s or 50s? Or even 80s, like people are much more keen and cool about religions and not beliefs and the difference between a belief and the real thing in front of you. And just because you see an alien, you're not going to immediately think that they created us.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's maybe more accepted and that's why that goes hand in hand with why they're releasing documents
some people
now?
Believe that we're doing it now because whoever the alien, whoever they are, gave us the ultimatum. Like, look, you come out and say it or we're going to do it. We're going to do it our way,
That's funny.
That's what people think.
I really want you to watch Disclosure Day now. I really want you to see that fucking movie.
We didn't even talk about it.
Because I'm asking you questions that are literally in that movie. Just the questions. I'm not giving you a spoiler.
Or something big's on the horizon. Well, think about it. I mean, you could go back to the 50s.
Because if I find out, that star, son, that you see, that's 300 light years away, you can see with your telescope every, February. Yeah. Has alien life in it. They visit us many times. Here are the videos. Great. Wouldn't change my Tuesday. I still have to work for a living. I really would, like...
I don't know how it would affect me. I don't know.
I don't think it would affect me. It'd be cool to know for sure. Right. To know a fact that my neighbor would know, that a guy would know off the street, that my ex would know. That's cool. Right? Because right now it's just me, and just you and me, and just the weirdos and the kooks. But like... to make it like part of knowledge, as common as measurements, as common as water floats or water does, as common as that would be cool. But
that would be cool.
But that's the extent of it. It will just be in a textbook from now on. It will be in future textbooks and history books. That's really the only difference.
Well,
I can see it happening.
We're rational people, but not everyone's rational,
Right.
You're right. Some sort of catalyst like that. Who knows what they could do?
So some people are looking for an excuse to do anything. Right. So it it could be this or another news. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean anything. But
so I think the government has some. I think they're right to a degree. Like.
Oh, they were right to a degree.
Everyone could handle it. 'Cause I don't think everyone could handle it. I don't think people could have their worldview changed. And survive it.
Well, then the real thing is that if life does change for us, it'll be because of people crazy enough to think that it should change and are creating havoc and changing it for us, but not directly as a result. Like those aliens wouldn't suddenly like, okay, they know about us, let's go conquer them. Right? It's not like they work that way.
Or maybe they would make their grand appearance. I don't know, man. This is like so sci-fi territory. Like it's so.
This is what it looks like. I mean, I've told you this before. Give you an example. Bring a smartphone to 50 years ago.
Yeah.
You're a fucking alien already.
Yeah. You're a space.
200 years ago, forget about it. You'd be killed and stoned on the street.
Right. For something that we take advantage of today. Yeah, I don't know. I'm anxious. July 8th, that's what the chatter is.
Obviously, this is only chapter 1 out of 4 people, so we have a long way to go here. But hopefully, I just want to ask these kind of questions because, A, you haven't seen Disclosure Day, so it'd be good to think about this before you watch it. And 2, maybe I'll ask you again in the next one or the 4th one, maybe.
Yeah,
at the end, after all of the information you have ready for us is divvied out.
Yeah, absolutely. And listeners, do your own research. Again, I'll say it, war.gov/UFOs.
Yeah, but also if you listen to us because you don't want to do the research, you're totally fine. You just wait for us.
Yeah. That's right.
Yes.
Well, I hope you liked it. It's a little kind of historical background, but I think it's necessary to lay the groundwork on what I have planned here. So, Anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Question? Okay. Oscar, take us home.
Will do.
On a green fireball.
Wait, can you repeat that? I have my headphones in. What did you say?
Well, later at night, it started lightning.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh, look. She goes, oh, Zeus is fucking.
Wow. That's cool.
What?
I'm going to use that. That's how good that is.
What? 10 years old.
Well, we're bringing it nice and clear. Can you speak a bit more?
I can speak as much as you want me to about whatever you want me to, you sexy beast.
Okay,
you.
great. If you were to pick one sex toy to insert into your asshole.
You know, we never got down that way. I'm a very
No, I know.
plain Jane.
That's why I said if. I know you.
Plain Jane.
You don't think
kinda
I don't? You think I don't know you?
I would hope after all these
You don't
years.
think I know that you sometimes live vicariously through my stories because I do everything?
Your Jedi stories?
Yeah. But anyway, my question is, if you were to have put a sex toy in there, what would you put and why?
Oh, I've never thought about it. I don't know.
Bitch, I'm asking you to think about it.
What about a vibrating tail like that chick in Vegas?
Dude, that's hot.
Remember that?
That was really hot.
You controlled it.
I did.
And she couldn't talk. It was, I mean, that's good. That's good.
I like it when they can't talk. In those exact kind of things. I mean, not in general.
People are talking about it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I really liked it. It doesn't make sense or anything, but it doesn't matter. It's just an
It's
action
not
movie.
one of those movies that
Yeah,
makes
exactly.
sense.
Right. So much fucking fighting. It's so cool.
Wow.
I really liked it.
Maybe.
I think there's like 2 guns in it. Barely.
Oh, wow.
It's like not even that much.
Disclosure Day first, for sure.
Yeah.
We watched Obsession.
Oh yeah, what brought you to Obsession?
Curry Baker. The hype. Plus, I like Milk and Cereal. I thought Milk and Cereal was fantastic.
It is really good. I liked it.
For what it was great. So
agree.
as soon as I heard, like, oh my God, he's got a real movie out, we watched it, and it was we pirated. And it was pretty good.
You liked it?
I did. Yeah, I did.
I was the same way. I liked
think I want
it.
to watch it again.
You want to watch or you don't want to?
I do, because I was pretty tired, and I was like, sometimes I was like struggling to keep you know how I do.
Yeah, I know.
Struggling to keep my eyes open, and since it was pirated, it was a little bit darker than I would like to have been. Not terrible, but I think I want to give it another shot, but from all intents and purposes, we really liked it.
Yeah, I also really liked it. I just didn't love it.
Really? Yeah.
The way people are talking about that movie is that they're loving it.
Yeah.
And there is like almost like an obsession to Obsession,
Hey.
right? And I don't love it the same way. I feel like that movie is this year's Weapons, where I liked Weapons, but I didn't love Weapons. It didn't even make my top 30. So like,
I would say the same thing.
you know what I'm saying? I can see this making everyone's top 10, and it's not going to break that for me. So I didn't love it, but I really liked it. I applaud it. I only love it because that and Backrooms, which came out like a week apart,
Yeah.
are both Gen Z movies. The biggest money-making Gen Z movies as of now, right? I broke all the records for that era for that generation.
More than that Iron Lung.
Oh yeah, Iron Lung
from
didn't
Marketplace.
I mean, Iron Lung didn't do bad, but not Obsession numbers, no. Not Backrooms numbers. Obsession made more money than Mandalorian and Grogu on the second week.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that.
So yeah, and that movie did pretty good for itself too. So like,
I didn't even know that released. You know that?
and Backrooms, like all the Backrooms or Obsession, or maybe both, might make the top 10 most money made in the summer.
Wow.
Yeah, probably in the bottom, like 9 or 10, but like it'll be the top 10 probably.
Yeah, and
That's pretty good for a movie that cost $5 million.
Right. Yeah, and the Backrooms kid. I think he had a budget a little less than that.
No, it was less than. It was like $1 million or so. I don't remember what it was, but it was very small.
I think when I saw the interview with him, he just turned 21.
Oh yeah, he did everything on YouTube. I saw all his shorts on YouTube after the movie because I liked the movie. I was like, I gotta watch all these backroom stuff. So I watched like 2 hours worth of videos.
So that's what we did with Curry Baker. As soon as we watched,
I recommend that for
Serial.
backrooms because those backrooms videos they're all like different types. So like not everything will hit, but the ones I hit really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to see it. Nico really wants to see it, but I just don't know anything about the world.
Yeah.
Or about that whole story. So, but and then we saw something called The Deep.
That sounds
Aaron
familiar.
Eckhart.
Oh, is it the plane one?
Yes.
Okay, I've heard of
You know
it.
what, man?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
It kept me going.
Is it just like a disaster movie or is it like a terrorist movie? What is it?
Disaster movie.
Okay.
Disaster movie.
So they have to prevent from the plane going down, or it's surviving after it's gone down?
Do you want to know, or
Yeah, you can tell me.
surviving after it goes down?
Okay. Is it based on a true thing or no?
No.
Good. It's even better. I hate the ones that are based on good.
Yeah, and for someone like me who fucking hates flying, like it hits even harder because the whole plane sequence, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's quite long. They build up to the crash and everything.
Yeah.
It's intense, man. Like it's an intense crash segment.
I gotta watch it because I like comparing, because I've seen so many plane crashes in movies.
Yeah.
Or just movies that are about a plane crash, or like Flight, which is my favorite.
That's the Denzel one, right?
Yes.
Where he goes upside down.
That opening is so good. But there's so many good ones, you know. I like to compare them, so maybe I'll watch it just to compare it. Yeah. I wasn't planning on watching it, but if you say it's good, I'll watch it.
I mean, for what it is,
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And I love anything to do with the ocean.
A good disaster.
Sharks.
Oh, they land in the ocean? I didn't know that.
Oh, fuck.
No, you could.
Yeah,
I don't care.
So they land in the ocean. And
It's
they
a disaster movie.
survive, right?
You can't really spoil a disaster
Except
movie.
the shark, so...
You know, it's like saying the Poseidon Adventure. Oh no, the ship does sink. I'm so sorry. You know, like, come on.
Those are the two we've seen so far.
Yeah, you don't typically go for the superhero stuff.
I'm kind of superheroed out, dude. Like,
But it really isn't, though. It kind of isn't. It's more like a film noir. It's like a PI gumshoe story. It is.
I know people that I know who've seen it. It's
pretty good.
You just gotta watch it.
I'm in episode 6. It's
Did you
really
do
good.
color or black and white?
I switch every other episode.
Oh, look at you.
I do.
Look at you. Okay.
And I low key, I do prefer the color though. So if you are going to pick one only, I would say color.
So most of the couple people that I know who've seen it, they watch the color. I was actually thinking about doing the black and white.
Yeah, that works too. It works too.
Cool.
But I think the color is a little more dynamic and more fun. But yeah, it's a good show. Nicolas Cage is rocking it. I mean, he's an old man for sure. Like you could tell, that's not him doing the action scenes, of course.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's doing the whole gumshoe accent too, to like trick people into giving them information. He does the whole thing. He does the whole bit. He's forlorn, lost on an ex-wife that died in an accident, like the classic shit.
Really?
It's all there in the film noir setting. I really like it for those things. It doesn't feel like a superhero movie. I'll tell you that. It does not feel like a superhero thing. Yeah.
What did you think of Dunk and Egg?
I love that show.
Great
show.
Fantastic.
I haven't read those yet, the novellas.
I haven't either.
I'm waiting on because I don't trust Martin to finish anything, so I'll wait until he's written at least 5. He's on his 3rd or so.
For Dunk and Egg? Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's on his 3rd novella, maybe 4th, I don't remember.
Yeah, what a great show.
It's a fun show.
You know what show's not good?
What?
The Burrows.
The what?
The Burrows.
What is that about?
It's like Alfred Molina, Gina Davis.
I like those actors.
Bill Pullman, I think.
So a lot of old timers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it?
By the Duffer Brothers, or Duffer Brothers.
Oh, they made the show? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. We watched one episode, I was like, eh. And next thing you know, canceled. After not even one season.
Oh, right, because they dropped the whole season in one. Right, that's how they do it. And it got canceled right away?
Fuck off. Yeah.
You know, I heard some positive things. You're the only one that said anything negative about it.
Like, I wasn't...
Well, one episode for me is not enough. I give a show 3 episodes.
Yeah, I know.
But you're right, but that's me, though. I don't have to convince you to watch anything.
And
but
now I'm not going to watch it, because I know if I do get into it...
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch Chaos, or whatever, that Jeff Goldblum show where he's like Zeus in modern day. It looked like a cool premise, a fun premise for a show. I heard it was good. It got canceled before I started watching it. I'm like, oh, then I haven't watched it.
Huh.
Same thing. They can't. Netflix does that too fucking fast, all the fucking time. They have absolutely no trust in what they make, ever.
And they were really leaning hard into the Duffer Brothers thing, you know.
Well, they still could.
This could be bigger than Stranger Things and not.
Well, yeah, but they don't give it time to do anything. They don't give it time to breathe at all. They expect every success out of a thing the day it releases and nothing more. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How do shows marinate on your platform if you don't let it like breathe a little? Like it does no. It's really dumb. They're fucking up a lot. They're depending too much on algorithm shit. They have been for a long time. This has been an issue for a while now.
That's a good point.
But like they depend on that too much. That's why their programming has gone. That's why everyone's preferring HBO and Apple TV these days, because they're making much more better, stable programming. You know.
My car in the garage.
No, I didn't know that.
And
oh, you mean your fancy car, your Corvette?
Well, both the Cadillac and the Corvette.
Okay.
So I keep it in the garage.
Still haven't seen it.
Oh God.
It's okay.
One of these days we got to finish up early so we can go out.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take you in it. It's a great. I love it, right? But not the point. So I tell the family, use the front fucking door.
Yeah.
But Talia, Nico, they insist we're going to be careful and still use the big garage door. We'll just
scoot between the cars or between the walls and shit.
Because we have a front door that don't work, apparently. I go out there today. I haven't driven in a couple days, right? So I wanted to get in the car. I wanted to drive. I was going to drop off some laundry. So I'm like, I want to take my car. I open the fucking garage door, and I walk in. I see this big white thing on the side of my car. like anger, like
Right.
a lot.
Flare up.
So I run my finger, then it comes off. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go like this, and right underneath there's a long scratch on my fucking car.
So there was a scratch. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Wow. How are you doing?
And no one, obviously, I know it's not Katie. She just goes out the front door like I do. And, the car, it has a coating on it. So it's not, like, super easy to scratch.
Right.
So what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, it must have been with
Who did it and
their
how?
backpacks while they're shimmying.
and
or
Talia
something.
swears, she's like, Dad, I know. She's like, I'm always super careful. If I have a bag, I turn the other way. And I tend to believe her.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, granted, it's once I wiped off the white stuff, which I still don't know what that white stuff was. It's
Yeah.
like it was like a chalky substance.
You didn't sniff it?
No.
Okay.
Once I wiped that off and I really kind of rubbed and rubbed and rubbed, it's kind of hard to see now. Like, Talia went out there and looked because I text the family, you motherfuckers. No one's allowed in the garage anymore. That's it. Done.
I would just have it controllable just with the car remote in there inside the car.
Well, they have the keypad outside. They know the code and stuff.
No, I would take that out. So they have to use the front door. Like I would take any other means other than the one in the car.
It's a thought. So I texted everyone. So when she came home from work, it was still broad daylight out. She got home around 4. It was great because she went outside and she wanted to see what I was talking about. She's like, Dad, I don't see anything. I'm like, all right, cool. But I know it's there. Like if you look.
Right, it's like the red dot in the sweater.
Yeah. Or any
Right.
little imperfection, right?
Once you see it, you know it's there, yeah.
Just
sucks.
no one fucking cares, dude.
No.
Like it's only Dad's. Who fucking cares?
Yeah. Well, in this case, yes.
Not even month and a half.
Yeah, Katie knows better. She doesn't bring anything new in. Like, she doesn't need it. No, she
No,
doesn't.
because just go out the fucking front door.
Yeah.
It's so much easier. And then they have to step over the charger because I always have it plugged
right.
in right now.
Yeah.
So you gotta shimmy past the charging door.
It doesn't overcharge? That's not a
No,
thing?
it stops automatically.
Good. Yeah.
House.
They're all having a blast with our food
Yeah, like,
and our gas
Buc-ee's
stations.
and
Yeah.
Woody's, these Costco,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. And they're having a lot of fun with it. That's
What was the small town that's hosting like
yes.
Nigeria or something? It wasn't Nigeria, but it was some.
Yeah, there is.
Like,
I know Scotland. Boston is hosting Scotland, which is
Yeah.
crazy because you heard about that, and all of Boston ran dry
No,
during Scotland's first game.
are you serious?
They ran dry. They ran out of all alcohol.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
That's
you know how
awesome.
crazy that is? Anyway, I forget what. I think I know what you're talking about, but I forget the small town.
Yeah, but it's
Virginia, I want to say.
like Kansas,
Maybe.
something.
Yeah.
But they're loving it. Like people
Mm-hmm.
from this town actually went and took like French classes and Spain, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
To help learn
Yeah.
their language.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like that's how America should be, man. Like welcoming.
Well, that's the real thing. That's the real thing. That's like that gave me such a injection boost of like hope.
yeah.
Because reading all these stories, I'm like, it shows you that just like 10, 15 years ago when we were all surprised that, oh yeah, Nazis are still around. It's like, oh yeah, sympathetic, empathetic, awesome people are still around.
Right.
Like because you just forgot that because all you see is shit on the news all the time. You see all the war stories
That was
first.
the whole point of
So
this
you
news
think that
story.
America is just flailing at all levels. And don't get me wrong, it is a lot, but like. But no, and
there's little
individually,
glimmers of hope.
communities, they're still acting the same way before. They still have those values, still have a lot of traditional stuff that works for a lot of things. So when they visit it, everyone's cool, everyone's nice, everyone's chill, everyone's fucking awesome.
And like this Olympic team, they put them up in like the Fairfield Marriott. You know what I'm saying? So you got this Olympic team.
Yeah.
And you still have family travelers coming in and out. You know? And it's like this harmonious.
Yeah, that Buc-ee's guy, that German guy that took a picture of Buc-ee's, and he's like, this is a gas station.
Yeah.
And he's
I
like
did
such a
see that.
massive building. I'm like, this is a gas station. What is going on?
He was
He was like loving
is
it.
extra.
Yeah,
Right?
we're
It's
all-
got to be extra
yeah.
to them. Like to
And
us, it's
I heard this story about like a lot of Europeans mainly, but other people sneaking in ranch through TSA because they don't have ranch
Oh my god,
in their country. Ranch is like a only American
that's
thing.
adorable.
It's super
love
adorable.
that.
Obviously, they didn't let them in, but yeah,
Aw,
'Cause they don't have
I'll
ranch over
send
there.
them ranch.
There's all these videos of TikToks of people going back to England specifically, like those English people, like going back home and then being served their food. Like can I get something else? Like, they hate their food now. They think they're shit compared to Texas Roadhouse food.
And we're like, oh, Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, we're like, yeah, that's okay.
It's
It's okay, like on a Wednesday afternoon or something.
It's amazing. It is. It's amazing.
Yeah.
How we got to look to an outside.
It did make me love my country a little bit, because I'm like, oh yeah, I do take this for granted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've gone to Buc-ee's on a road trip.
I have never been to a
I won't get out of the
Buc-ee's.
car.
Oh, why?
Do you know how many people are in a Buc-ee's?
I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
Fuck,
That's
dude.
a southern of the Dixie line kind of thing, right? That's not here.